Alright guys, we're gonna go into Mike's little studio, or shithole, whatever you want to call it. You can little tour. Tiny room, I don't know, maybe it's about 9.5, 10 feet that way, and then maybe, I don't know what, 15. Anyhow, this is my manhole cave. Yeah, let's see where we start. Let's start with, I don't know, start over here. Cases, it's a mess by the way. Dog hair everywhere. My dog is usually down here. You can clean it up. 2 days later, I'll be right back. 1987X. It's a newer one I've got. Well, it's not new, but bought it used. But it's been modded. Somebody basically neutered it. Doesn't have near as much gain or trouble. So that's a work in progress. Hopefully get that going here soon someday. The old DSL 50. Badass. 1960 AX 4x12 greenbacks. Here's a Bogner 412. And that has, let me think. I forget what last speakers I put in it. 2 greenbacks and 2 of the speakers that are originally in that, the G12 vintage. You know, what's in that currently. Those cabs sound totally different. Metal cab, plastic rock cab. See, we got here a couple attenuators, Webers. Everybody's wanting attenuators. Definitely want to go into cheap. You got a little 20 watt head, get one of these. Got a 150 or 100 watt head, get one of these. This one here is probably cost more, but a little more user friendly, I guess, tone wise. Like for the treble compensation, you got a knob on this one. Here you just have a switch, so you can dial it in a little bit better with that one. But if you ain't got the money, this still sounds great too. I mean, even that treble booster on like on 3 dB works pretty good, or at least for most of the 20 watt Marshalls I have. Let's see what we got over here. Junk everywhere. Tubes, picks, oh, you name it. You getting dizzy? There's a Fender something or other Strat, Mexican made. And you get rid of that thing. It just sits back here all the time, never gets played anymore. Ibanez Prestige. This is an old one, 2003. So I replaced the pickups. I think it's a DiMarzio Airzone there. Humbucker from Hell, which sounds kind of like a single coil. Weird name. This neck here has been refretted though. On this, I wore the frets off of it, and a friend of mine redid it. Those are stainless steel frets, and they are like silky smooth, really nice. And over here, here's my Warwick bass. If I ever do any recording, I use that. And that thing sounds just killer. It's like perfect in a mix. It should. What it costs. Okay, we got over here Jubilee, little mini Jubilee head, and the matching cab. And my favorite Strat right here is the American Professional, still with the plastic on the pick guard. My absolute favorite beast of a guitar right there. It's nicknamed the Blueberry Beast. Gibson Les Paul Traditional. Okay, let's see, then we got, here's an Ibanez Talman. It's like a Telecaster knockoff. Pretty cool, and guitar sounds good, but the nut is a little skinnier than everything else I own, so it's a little funky to play for me. But I'll probably end up getting rid of that one. Probably just get a regular Fender or something. That's a wider nut, I'm not sure. I didn't like that because of that, but it sounds good though. It's got Seymour Duncan, I can't remember what pickups in it. Seymour Duncan something or other. Here's a Les Paul Studio. And I want a Les Paul sound, like hard rock, heavy metal, maybe more metal. I use that one. Got the 490R, 490Ts. And jumping over here, here's another Strat. This is like the latest one I've bought, I guess. Still has a sticker on it. HSS Strat Professional. Both of these Strat Professionals have the little tall, thin frets and the deep C profile, which I really like. And up next here is a Gibson Classic. And this one sounds good, plays good. The 60 style neck. But I like the Blueberry one better, the traditional. These pickups here are just a little more, tiny bit hotter, a little more treble to them. So I prefer the other one. This ain't bad. If I didn't have the traditional, that'd probably be my favorite. But since I have the traditional, I like it better. And here's another Strat I got. It's a Elite. Really nice ebony fretboard on that one. And that one's got a different neck profile on the back. It's a little thinner than the Professionals, and a compound radius. So I like the way that neck plays and stuff, but I don't care for these pickups really. There's a noiseless one here. Yeah, I like the V mods on the other one over there. So let's see what we got going on here. Oh, rack. Here's my rack with a whole bunch of stuff in it. Recently got these couple preamps here from Rocktron, Valve Sonic. This one here is supposed to sound like a Plexi. This one here is kind of supposed to do that Fender to even kind of a Mesa type sound. This one does really nice for that Fender clean, and this one's like, I'm not sure I'm gonna keep this one. You know, having all these other Marshalls on here, probably really don't need it. Kind of hoping it did the higher gain thing, like it says. Supposedly it does like the higher, more gain, modern thing. Gain that, yeah. I mean, it does higher gain kind of, but it just, I don't know. This doesn't sound like a Marshall to me. But this one does, because it is a Marshall JMP1. That's my favorite preamp. And anytime I'm gonna do any live playing bands, this is what I always bring. Because it does it. It's all you need. Something that sounds like a Marshall. There you go. That's what it does. It sounds like... Doesn't sound exactly like a Plexi. Doesn't sound exactly like an 800. Doesn't sound exactly like a 900 or a DSL. They kind of mix them all together, and I can do pretty close to just about any of those amps. So that's why I like it, because it's very versatile. Basically it's like 100 different presets. So if you wanted 100 different versions of one channel, you got it. Technically it's 4 channels. It has 2 overdrives and 2 cleans. I can't remember which clean I usually use. But I use one of the cleans for clean channel, and then I usually just use overdrive 1, overdrive 2, just kind of muddy sounding. I don't care for it. Or the bass shift knob. That's useless. But overdrive 1 with varying amounts of gain and EQ. This thing's really cool because the EQ is pretty drastic. A little bit of EQ adjustment on this thing can make quite a bit of difference. You can get quite a lot of different Marshall type sounds just with the EQ alone. So love this thing. I wish Marshall would come out with a new version of this. It's not exactly the best, probably when it comes to tubes. It's not 100% tube, but if you follow it with a BBE, that kind of gives it that extra kick. And to me, I think if you have one of these, you kind of need one of these. Some guys will say no, and they add a little bit of EQ to it, kind of scoop it out a little bit. But to me, it's exactly what this thing needs. It gives it that kick in the ass that it needs. But follow with a BBE, and I've had nothing but compliments whenever I use this. Any other guitar players here, they're always like, man, what are you using? JMP1, follow with a BBE, and then to hopefully a Marshall power amp of some kind, or DSO, or whatever, just any other Marshall amp. Has EL34s in it. Works great. Top here is a TC Electronic G system. This is the Brain, and this thing does all kinds of crazy shit, but kind of overkill. Pretty much, I use it to switch the channels on JMP1. That has a big foot switch. It says over here. And I usually have about 4 or 5 channels set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually have clean, a lead channel, Plexi channel, Marshall 800, 900 DSO-ish Jubilee's channel, and maybe a little heavier scooped out channel for more metal kind of stuff. That's about all. But don't really use it much more other than that. Okay, so we got over here a DSL 20, my favorite in this room amp to use, because it can, you know, I can put it on even the high setting with the master volume, and through that Bogner cab, which I guess I didn't show. Bogner 212 with creamback 65s in it. And next to it there, you can see it. There's the Marshall 2061CX, and the speaker's been replaced on that, and it has 2 creambacks, same as the Bogner. But these 2 cabs sound totally different. Marshall's really tight and punchy, and the Bogner is like, you need beef? There you go. That one sounds like a 4x12, but 212 spacing. Yeah, DSL, my favorite amp. If I had to get rid of every amp in this room but one, I'd keep the JMP1 and probably a 50 watt head. Other than that, next up would be that one. I know, Vietnam, but love it. I'm a DSL guy, so I like them. And turn your volume knob down on your guitar, get kind of a plexitone. But if you really need a plexitone, just get one of those. There's a little mini studio. And then underneath that, you 800 guys are going to love that, but then you're going to hate what I'm going to say next, because that's probably going to be the next amp I can get rid of, because I just don't find much use for it. I can get just about any sound that I can make out of that one with some pedals. And when I go higher gain than that, I'd rather use that one. Sorry guys. I know some guys like it. I mean, it does have a good sound. I'm not going to say it sucks or anything. It's way better than a Fender. But when I got other choices, I don't know. I seem to go from AC/DC to modern. Although I grew up in the 80s, spent most of my younger adult or teenage years, and I guess in the 80s, I don't really care for that tone so much. I like the older stuff and the newer stuff. So that was not my favorite amp. But let's see what else you got here. Oh, there you go. Well, that's an awesome amp right there. That's a fake amp. Kemper Stage. But when you guys talk about trying to quiet things down and stuff, of course you can use the attenuators like I showed you earlier. If you can get, of course most guys aren't going to go out and get one of these to do this, but this does work. If you have one of these, profile your real amp and use headphones, oh my god, it sounds every bit as good as being in the room. Really, really, really nice. Really impressed with this thing. I mean, I'm not going to get rid of my amps by having it. I think it's a cool toy or tool to use and for recording and stuff like that. I mean, of course, there's nothing like the real deal. But man, when you got to play quiet, to me, you can't beat it. Profile your real amp, use a real good set of headphones, and it sounds awesome. On another note, I guess you should say, guys talking about trying to record and stuff, get one of these. 2 notes, torpedo captor. They come in like different ohms. I guess it's a 16. I have an 8 ohm around here too. But anyhow, all you got to do is, this thing is a load box. If you read it, it says load box, attenuator, speaker sim, DI. Speaker sim part sucks. Don't worry about that part. And as a load box and a DI, all you do is come out of your amp, speaker out, and right in to the input of it. Now you have a load box, and then on the front you have a DI out. Or you can use this as it has a built-in attenuator. It's only a set and forget, 20 dB, that's it. There's no adjustment on or anything. Definitely quiets it down, but you know, if that works for you, it works for you. But to me, it was like, as an attenuator, not very useful. Better than nothing, I guess. But it also has a through, so if you want to play your row amp in the room live, you know, you run the speaker cable out of here into your cab while you're playing. And then to capture your sound, instead of using a mic, using the DI part of it here, it comes out here, there's a line out right here, and it has a level. And you want to go into your interface, input of your interface, and then in your DAW, and then load up some IRs. Oh, should I show you guys this? Nah, I probably should. Anyhow, it'll take too long to load. Here's my messy desk. Tubes. But anyhow, anybody who, if you're seeing this in the Marshall forum, any of you guys that ever want to attempt to do that, and you need impulse responses, IRs, you ever heard that? Yes, the best way to record. Trying to mic it yourself and everything, when you can go that route. Real microphones, depends on the room you're in, you know, what's going to sound like. I mean, you can like, oh, you know, amp sounds great in the room, but you stick a mic in front of it, and, you know, all you can do is hope for the best. Maybe it works, maybe it don't. But if you go the DI, low box with the DI on it and IRs, which were recorded in a really good environment, that's going to sound probably, most likely, much better than you're going to do in your house or garage or basement or something. Like I'm here in the basement here, I probably wouldn't get a very good recording at all trying it that way. But you never know, you can always try it. But anyhow, get the point. Anybody who does on the Marshall forum, if you want any IRs, I own an IR business, so I have access to a crap load of them. Matter of fact, all these cabs here, see that one, CX, 61CX, that Bogner 212, that AX cab there, that Bogner cab, several versions of that. I got that Jubilee cab, several versions of that with different speakers and a whole bunch more. You guys can just go to my site, zombiecabs.com, and pick a couple of them out you like, and I'll send them to you. But I got multiple mics on the IRs. There's like, I think we use like 7 different mics, different positions and stuff, so you're bound to find something that sounds really good. So I highly recommend that. I know it sounds complicated, probably some of you guys, but if you're going to try to record, that is a good way of doing it. The other way might be, let's see, that thing, which is probably cost you more than getting an interface. But the camera, this actually has multiple inputs. It has the two built-in right here. You can just mic it in the room, kind of like a cell phone, like I'm doing now. Probably won't do real good, but it does have a level on it, and it has a built-in compressor, but you can turn it off so it don't do the compression thing like a lot of phones do. But it also has 2 mic inputs, or you can run your mics into a board and then run line level in there with level adjustments here on the side too. So you can actually record there, and it'll give you 4 audio tracks, 2 here, and then the 2 which is ever in here. So it's another way of doing it. But I still think on the DI thing, the IRs is probably a better way to go. Oh, I guess this thing, I wasted enough time. I brought my DAW up. So I'll show you this for a second, I guess. Did I bore you? Here I got it set up where I'm doing, this is doing Kemper profiles, but here, and you go to the site too for you need an IR player. You can download this for free. And like for instance, I'll go show you, like when you get one, say, I got load up here is like the preset, but anyhow, here's what you get with one cab, all these microphones. You get 2 like kind of room microphones right there, and then you got, let's see, Sennheiser 609, Telefunken M81, Sennheiser MD 421, Neumann TLM 102, and then I got a ribbon here. It's a SE Electronics, I can't remember the model of it, but ribbon microphone, and of course your tried and true SM57, and then the SM7B. A good old Marshall tone, greenbacks, MD 421 position 2, and 57 position 2 does the trick. And you can load up here, how this is set, we have 2 cabs there, you can load it up, like I'll show you, I can do the 421 there, it's on this side, and over here I can load up the 57, and then you have a balance, you can balance it in between however you want. And you do a little high pass and low pass for each one. This is actually, it can be ran in mono, currently running it in mono, but you can also run it in stereo. Right here would be stereo if you wanted to, left and right it. But you can do that. You can also, I do, usually when I track, and I'll use 2 tracks at the same time. and then I'll run 2 different mics like this, and then down here, then I'll run one of the room mics on another one. Just pan it to one side and turn that cab on, and do it that way. But probably confusing everybody. Am I even aiming at it right? Oh, I just realized I was not looking at the screen. But anyhow, if anybody has any questions on this kind of stuff or whatever, maybe I can do a video on it or something like that. But you have to hear me go in my native Midwestern Ohio accent. So anyhow, let's see what else is there to show you in the studio. There's a little rack here. That's my interface right here. It's PreSonus. It has like and you don't need something like this to track. You can get like they make little ones with like 2 channels or something like that. This one's like an 8-channel one with ADAT and stuff like that, but you don't need to go overkill like that. Just a recording guitar. This is another preamp I have. I can run these. It's 8 more mic channels I can hook into this thing. That all goes into the computer. That bad boy right there. And out of the computer, back into the interface, and then goes into this dusty thing right here. Monitor selector thing, whatever, volume knob basically, and it goes into those JBL monitors there. And that's it. So, I'll show you the pedals. Maybe I didn't. What's down here? Control pedal for that Kemper thing. This is something I've been playing around with. I just spend more time with it. I mess with it too much. A little looper pedal. But I got it before I got the Kemper, and the Kemper has a looper, so kind of redundant. Here's a pedal board. I'm not a big time pedal guy. Probably looks more advanced than what I actually use it for. Wah pedal if I ever need it. And this is a multi-effect pedal. It basically has models of a bunch of overdrive, distortion, boost pedals, chorus, delay, reverb, you name it, it's all in there. Probably doesn't sound as good as the real deals, I don't know. I'm not, especially when it comes to the effects part, too much, not that big of a user, that kind of stuff. A little bit of chorus and verb on a clean channel, and maybe a little bit of reverb once in a while. Other than that, that's pretty much all I use. On the Plexi, I'll use this and this and these two. This pedal here allows you to have, so all these cables here are, there's loops, so you can set it for whatever preset. You can set it for one preset and have like that pedal on, or another preset has just that one, or another preset has both of them. The only thing with this thing is it goes from the input in the loop 1, loop 2, then loop 3, so you can actually have 3 different loops on it. Can't change the order of that. That's the only thing bad about this one. We do make another version, something kind of like this, but it don't have the effects built on it. It has more loops, and it's called an MS7 or 8 or something like that. Maybe it's not MS, but anyhow, something kind of looks like that. But this works for me. I got 2 pedals. It's about all I ever use anyhow. So, and I got it set up in 2 different loops, and it does the job for what I need it for. But I guess that's it. Okay, now it's your turn. Oh, hey, your turn. Now you have to go show me your studio, or your jam spot, or whatever. It don't matter. Living room, don't matter.